Alright, hey everybody, welcome back to another video. My name is Dylan Dugan and this is Tech Warrior. So, the reason why I'm wearing the same shirt and my hair is still a mess is because we are doing a 2-for-1 video. I did another video on, if you didn't see it, on how to get the film look with any camera, but I decided that with the film look, it's also great to have stabilized cinematic shots. So, what I have here is the Steadxp, and there's going to be a full review on this, so let's go ahead and get into that. By the way, today's video, it is sponsored by teacherjobfairs.org, your teacher recruitment headquarters. All the links down below. So, in today's video, we have the Steadxp. What is this? What's the Steadxp? Never heard of it before, right? Or maybe if you're visiting this video, you have heard of it and you want to know some information about it. Well, this is a sort of it's a stabilizer for your standard DSLR camera with an audio kind of jack, right? This is very small, right? It comes from France. This is a French stabilizing piece of equipment. It's very light, and its main job is to go ahead and stabilize really shaky shots. But the thing is wait a minute. We have stabilized lenses, we have gimbals, steady cams, shoulder rigs, anything you can imagine we have, right? Why would we need this? Why would we need to stabilize shots with this? Well, that's a great question, and that's basically the reason why this was created. Here's the reason. Your camera lens, it has a stabilizer built into it. The lens you're watching me on right now, it has a vibration reduction built into it. Here's the thing though, is that is maybe gonna save your shot by 5% at the most. It will not stop jitters, right? It's not gonna go ahead and stop any of that. I have plenty of footage with really jittery shots that are completely unusable, even though they would have been great if they were stabilized. So remember, another reason that the Steadxp was created was to go ahead and stabilize your shots apart from having to use a Steadicam or a gimbal or a shoulder mount. Those are all great stabilizers, and of course with the price for each one of them you get better stabilization, but little micro jitters, none of those pieces of equipment are going to be able to stop very well, like a Steadxp will, or supposedly will, and of course I'm going to test that out in the video. But the thing is I've never bought a gimbal because it's $1,500 for one of those, and it's more expensive than the Panasonic GH4, the camera that I would use to stabilize. So it doesn't really make sense financially to buy anything that expensive. It's better to just buy something like this and use it. So that's why you're watching this review, because you want to see, is it worth, actually purchasing. And for me, it makes sense to buy something for $200–300 to stabilize my shots instead of having to buy a lens for $500 with a very minimal optical image stabilization built into it. And when you use optical image stabilization as well as software in Premiere, you're going to get good stabilized shots. But the thing is, if you use like a gimbal or a Steadicam or something like that, and then you stabilize it with a lens and then you use Premiere, it's going to kind of look a little wobbly and it's all going to be thrown off. But remember, the Steadxp though, they don't recommend to use any stabilizers for your lenses or anything else. Just your hands on your camera with the Steadxp attached to the hot shoe of your camera. That's it. Nothing else. So it's going to be really interesting to test these out and see if it's really worth it. But I will say, from what I've seen from my perspective, $200–300 for a stabilizer is well worth the price. Instead of having to buy $1,500 for a gimbal or anything like that. So here's the thing about this. There are a few requirements. This basically really isn't for everybody at the moment. It is in early development. It does take some getting used to. You have to preset your shots with some just early on jitters and things like that. You have to have a GoPro Hero 3 battery for this, which is very interesting because GoPro Hero 3 batteries aren't really easy to get a hold of since we're at GoPro Hero 5 now. As well as you need to have an audio input jack on your camera, your DSLR, and I know that is not easy to get a hold of today. Even my Nikon D3400 right now, it has it doesn't actually have an audio jack input, which is terrible, but it doesn't have that. The camera's great and all different, everything, like every stage of the camera is great, except for one thing: doesn't have that audio jack. The GH4, Panasonic GH4 that I have has that, which is great. That's perfect, but the thing is I bought an inverter, so it goes from mini HDMI, I believe, or it's mini something, to the audio jack. So it's a small little cable, and then you connect a little kind of 3.5mm jack. It's two-sided, so you have to have one for the camera. That same cable has to have the same jack for going back into the Steadxp.